Here comes the champ, the undefeated Hector Macho Camacho, in full headdress and draped in 3 championship belts. A cascade of boos being drowned out by his ring entrance of "Ain't No Stopping Us Now." And the Macho Man, more than happy to display his footwork to the crowd. That includes the Donald, our host.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Trump Plaza Hotel Casino, let's get ready to rumble. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. The referee for this bout is Tony Perez. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing the white trunks with black trim, and he weighed in at 138 pounds even. From Providence, Rhode Island, he brings a professional record of 28 victories, 23 by KO against only 3 defeats. He's the former lightweight champion of the world, Vinny, the Tasmanian Devil, Pazienza. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing the multicolored trunks and weighing in at an even 140 pounds, originally from Spanish Harlem in New York City, but now fighting out of the Big Cypress Seminole Indian Reservation in Florida, he brings a professional record of 38-0, 17 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a 3-time world champion and the current WBO Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, Hector Macho Camacho.
Just gave you your instructions in the dressing room. You gave me a good, clean fight. I will not bother neither one of you, all right? 2 things you must remember. Obey my commands at all times and protect yourself at all times. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you.
I'm Joe Tessitore alongside light heavyweight contender John Scully. John, Camacho said prior to this fight he knows Pazienza is going to try to fight him hard. He said mentally, I will never get beat, but physically, I have to match that level. Is that the key to victory tonight for Pazienza, that he has to smother, swarm, and just drown him with come-forward aggression?
I would say most likely yes, because Pazienza has a lot of energy, fights with a lot of energy, and it would be hard for him to box and to be patient with Camacho. Because Camacho is such a sharpshooter, and he's such a good counterpuncher that you have to offset that. And aggression, unless Vinny was a spectacular, very slick type of boxer, which he isn't at this point.
Start of what could be a very long and arduous evening for referee Tony Perez, already handing out a warning and a break. The recent history for Pazienza, it was 15 months ago that he dropped a 12-round decision to Roger Mayweather. As for the recent work of the Macho Man, 11 months ago, he won the vacant WBO 140-pound title. That's up for grabs tonight with a split decision victory in Reno against Boom Boom Mancini. Combination work on the inside from Camacho there.
See, Camacho's such a good counterpuncher, and it's hard to tell how a fight's going to go based just on the first round. There's so many nerves involved, but right now I think Camacho's setting the pace. Even though Vinny's more aggressive, Camacho's thwarting him at every opportunity. He's really let his hands go nicely.
That aggression is playing right into Camacho's skill set.
Yeah, definitely. He's a beautiful counterpuncher.
Southpaw Camacho, 27 years old, 5'6", 3-time world titleist, 3 different weight divisions. See Paz complaining to the referee about Camacho holding behind the head after that exchange.
And that's going to happen a lot. That's Camacho's bread and butter. That's his thing. And he's gotten away with it. He actually punches off it real well.
Two straight left hands there by Camacho. Yeah, so referee Tony Perez obviously has his hands full, and it's key as to how the ref will officiate the fight when Camacho's in there, John.
Right. Like with any fight, I mean, people have to realize it. The referee, the choice of referee is extremely important and pivotal. Some referees break on the inside quickly. Some guys let you fight out of it. So depending on who's in the ring at that moment, it could play a big role in how the fight goes. And he does that a lot. Camacho, you know, he's brilliant with his hands, with holding you on the head and turning you and spinning you and turning you into punches, which is the art of boxing, I think. And but if he didn't let him do that, if he kept calling him on it, that hampers Camacho a great deal.
Good start to the evening for the Macho Man. End of one. Convention Hall in Atlantic City. Joe Tessitore alongside John Scully. WBO Junior Welterweight title on the line. Hector Camacho, Vinny Paz. Camacho says that Pazienza is a Macho Camacho wannabe. Some of the words exchanged here fight week. Well, what Pazienza wants to actually be is not as easy of a target for the accurate and speedy counterpunching of Camacho. Pazienza showing some of that old Customato style. He is trained by Kevin Rooney of Mike Tyson fame. You can hear the corner of Pazienza calling out for more work with the jab. Now he gets Camacho against the ropes in the exchange, and once again Camacho ties up and holds behind the head.
And I think the way it looks now, Pazienza's having a lot more success now that he's actually jabbing more, kind of offsetting Camacho a little bit, making him think a little bit more. Because when Vinny's aggressive, coming in with his head down, just trying to throw punches, that's just something Camacho needs to react to. He doesn't even need to think. He just lets his hands go automatically. But once you get the jab in the mix from Pazienza, that changes the fight a little bit.
Saw the jab there from Pazienza. Camacho tried to shoot a right hand over the top. He does so again that time. There's the double jab from Paz.
Yeah, it looks a lot better when he does that. But of course, I mean, I would imagine in the near future, Camacho is going to adjust to that himself. That's what makes boxing such a chess match. Every round brings a new adjustment.
The evolution of Macho Camacho has been so interesting to see through the years, John. He was a very exciting, more offensive-minded fighter early in his career, and then he had that split decision win against Edwin Rosario, the great Rosario, where in that 5th round he got clipped, and he got clipped good, and since then he's fought differently in his career.
Definitely, he's much more defensive, and you know, he's probably just as hard to fight as he was when he was younger, but in a different way. Like when he was younger, it was like running into a fan, you know? Now, it's like just hitting air, you know, so he's more defensive. It's probably better for him in a sense.
Showing that speed differential here in the end of this 2nd round. Very good final minute of this 2nd round for Camacho.
Bag Ace.
That's it.
Put it on. Work.
That's it.
I'll take this side. Don't worry about it.
Over here.
All right.
Hard body shots. Hard body shots. Right hands, left hooks.
Now here's where Vinny gets him against the ropes. This is his fight. This is the only way he can probably win a decision, is keeping Camacho here, but Camacho ties him up and ruins the momentum for him. Now here Camacho counters effortlessly, and you know, if you're not a sharp puncher in combination, Camacho's going to pick you apart like that all day.
Final instructions from Kevin Rooney to the Tasmanian Devil. Round number 3 here from the boardwalk in Atlantic City. You heard the corner of Pazienza saying we need more body work. Got to slow down those legs of Camacho. Try to clamp him down, keep him confined.
And it's not just the body work, but when he has him against, like right there, when he has him against the ropes, he's got to engage him physically. He's got to push with him and maul him and make it where Camacho has to fight him back with his legs, not just his arms.
Well, if mauling is what you like, mauling is what you just got. And referee Tony Perez admonishing Pazienza as he just for a moment there said, you know what, forget boxing, let's make this a fight. And maybe, just maybe, John, the first signs of frustration from Pazienza dealing with the style and tactics of Camacho, but in a way it could serve him well because taking the fight to that place is where he wants to take it.
Right. He can't keep going like he did in the first two. That's not going to happen as far as winning the fight. He's got to take it to a new level. He's got to make Camacho fight. And even if Camacho's doing well, then he's got to keep him punching so that he can slow him down. He can't slow him down if he doesn't get Camacho working harder.
Look at the frustration on Pazienza's face. You saw him just kind of give a little bit of a forearm shiver there on the break. And the referee, Tony Perez, looks Paz's way once again, not realizing that the source of that frustration is the constant holding and clinching. And that right there, you see that right hand right there? That right hand behind the head of Pazienza. Now Paz tries to flurry, and Camacho says, I can do that too.
And what you have to realize is it may not look like much when you're watching the fight, but when a guy puts his arm behind your arm or behind your head, that alters your position a lot. It stops you from throwing punches. Like Vinny can't let his hands go if his head's being pulled down, and you know, he wants to. That's why he's frustrated, because he wants so bad to let his hands go and he can't.
See how smart the undefeated champion Camacho is, though, that he realizes that aggression sometimes can win over the judges. He gives them just enough offense, just enough of a taste to let them know, hey, I'm still here and I'm still in control of this thing, to not give an excuse where they could go Paz's way on the scorecard.
Right. Well, in my opinion, I mean, Camacho's underrated in the sense of he's seen as a mover and a slick boxer, but he fights. Like when the time comes, he lets his hands go. Like he'll get down and dirty with the best of them.
There's an example of it right there, fighting his way out of the corner, and he's so accurate, and the hand speed is so sublime.
That's the biggest difference right now. You know, Vinny throws punches, hoping to land 2 or 3 out of 6, where Camacho, his connect percentage is probably much higher.
End of round 3 with the world title on the line. More to come. Lou Duva and trainer Kevin Rooney sending out Vinny Paz for round number 4. Of course, next week, Kevin Rooney's old fighter, Mike Tyson, will be in Tokyo to defend his heavyweight championship against Buster Douglas. For now, all the eyes in the boxing world focused in here in Atlantic City to see if Vinny Pazienza can find a way to upset the undefeated 140-pound champ, Hector Camacho. You know, it brings up an interesting point, John Scully, in noting Vinny Paz being trained by Kevin Rooney, that Customado style doesn't necessarily fit everybody. Is it a good fit for Pazienza?
Well, I don't think he's really adept at it. I think he does it just because he's told to do it. Definitely not out of habit. I mean, Tyson started with them, honed it in the amateurs from when he was 15 years old in the JOs, the Olympics, all the way to being champion of the world. Vinny, you know, isn't. I don't know if Vinny even knows why he's doing it exactly. He's just doing it because he's supposed to.
Macho utilizing that southpaw right-handed jab, keeping Pazienza out at range, looking for opportunities like that right there. Pazienza jumps in, a flurry from Camacho, and he scores well.
And what you have to love about Camacho, he's one of the most, he appears to me to be one of the most relaxed, confident fighters in the game. Like the way he's under pressure, but he lets his hands go and return so nicely and beautifully.
I think that's a great descriptive for the Macho Man. He is calm. He is controlled. He is relaxed. And you see it time and time again, just getting out the side door or parrying a punch.
Right.
But nothing really affects him, and he doesn't have any worries about his opponent's offense.
No, not at all, because he's worried about his own offense. Like, he just gets there, punches out of the way so he can do his own thing. And you know, it's really beautiful to watch from a boxer's standpoint to see his technique. I mean, he's really a technician in there.
Not to take anything away from the skill set of Pazienza, but just to break down this fight and put it in its most simplest form, it would be aggression versus skill.
See, Vinny in his own right has proven to be a good boxer at times.
No doubt.
But the fact is, you can't do that with everybody. You have to, you know, pick and choose who you use a certain style with. And that style wouldn't work well for Vinny tonight. He's got to work. And actually, that D'Amato style of moving his head quickly side to side could serve him well if he did it constantly in this fight. But he only does it 1 or 2 times around, apparently.
2 lunging left hooks from Pazienza to close out the 4th round. But it was a 4th round that was highlighted by the accuracy and the counter-punching of the Macho Man, Hector Camacho.
Perfecto,
Macho, born in Puerto Rico, grew up in Spanish Harlem, ran into trouble with the law at age 15. Actually an outstanding karate participant as well as a boxer as a teenager, and then worked his way up the ladder of the New York Golden Gloves, turned pro, and has won 3 world championships in 3 different weight classes. A look back at the action from the 4th round, John.
Well, I saw some really good body shots there that Pazienza landed, and those are definitely going to serve him well later in the fight, I would think, and I'm sure he hopes that. On the other hand, though, you have Camacho, who, as you just saw, he lets his hands go in combination with such energy that he forces Pazienza to go back into a defensive posture, which, you know, you can't win if you can't punch.
Round 5. Joe Tessitore alongside light heavyweight John Scully. There's that Tyson-esque Customato style from Pazienza, but then you can see he kind of falls back to his old ways. Just needs to work a little more when he gets to the inside, John.
Right. Well, you know, as far as the Customato style, I think it appears to me now, I get the sense that Vinny does that when he's a little bit frustrated, and that's like, okay, let me go back to that and see if that works. And then he lands a couple punches, or he gets hit with a couple, and then that goes out the window. He had great success a couple rounds ago with the jab. I think he'd be wise to go back to that.
Saw that in the 2nd round, then it disappeared. Now on the inside, see if he can let loose a bit. But instead, you see the southpaw just stiff arms with that right hand, keeps him away, holds a little bit behind the head, and Camacho fighting his fight.
Camacho was able to escape easily because he's so relaxed, and Vinny instinctively went to the head when Camacho was against the ropes. He would have been better served to go to the body and force Camacho to kind of double over and defend against that. It's harder for him to move and slip out when he does that.
Not just because of the offensive opportunities he should be going to the body, but for what it could make this fight look like in the championship rounds later on. He should be going to the body. He cannot have a fresh-legged Hector Macho Camacho in the deeper water of this fight.
Right. You've got to make Camacho fight you back, not relax and just slip out. And it looks bad when you throw a big punch to the head and he makes you miss, and then he slips out. Automatically, everybody in the arena knows that looks better for Camacho. And yeah, he's got to get to the body. You have to go the first half of the body, ripping, digging that body of Camacho.
Here's Paz now. Camacho up again. He tried there, but once again, Camacho able to get away with ease.
Vinny's got to jab his way in. Camacho's able to go side to side laterally and go different directions. And Vinny's not jabbing, giving him any kind of look. You have to have like a bulldozer lead the way. And otherwise, Camacho can see too well. He can turn and twist and spin and dictate the movement.
Left hook misses from Pazienza. Counting down the final moments here of round number 5.
All right.
2 years ago this weekend, Vinny Pazienza was here in Atlantic City, and he lost his rematch in the IBF lightweight title, Greg Haugen. Well, if he doesn't change sequences like this, he could be on the downside against Hector Camacho. What happened there, John?
Well, that was a great example of the art of boxing. Camacho used Vinny's aggression against him. He backed to the ropes. He pulled Vinny down. He leaned back to avoid the shots. He circled out and stuck him with a jab. You know, that's beautiful textbook counter punching.
6th round of our scheduled 12-round WBO 140-pound title fight. Camacho in the multicolored Tasmanian Devil, Vinny Pazienza in the white with black trim. So many fans have come down I-95 from Rhode Island to see their native son go after this world title. Got him in the corner. That's where he wants to keep Camacho, and finally he's going to work, but I don't think that shoulder push is going to be much appreciated.
Right, but that's the type of thing he needs to do. He needs to get Camacho maybe a little upset, a little out of his game plan, so that Camacho would want to get a little bit of physical revenge on him. That would be Vinny's best hope to wear Camacho down. That was the first time I think he actually had him in the corner where Camacho wasn't able to counter really sharply.
Saw glimpses of that aggression in the 3rd round when Pazienza pulled Camacho across the ring, but this a much more effective tactic of just smothering him and being physical and doing whatever it takes to keep him corralled and teed off on him.
Right, he's got to make it physical. He still has a lot of time left in the fight, but these rounds go by quickly when you're getting outboxed.
See Camacho in that southpaw stance. John, at times almost catching Pazienza's punches with his right hand.
Right, he's got like a built-in radar, and again, he's so relaxed, he can see it coming. It's like, to him, it's like in slow motion. And, you know, Vinny's got to change his speed a little bit and show Camacho some different looks. Because right now, Camacho seems to have Vinny's timing down. He's able to anticipate what Vinny's going to do.
There's a big wound-up right hand from Pazienza. And once again, for the 2nd time in this round, he has him where he wants to have him. Good body shot came in from Pazienza. It was a right hand to the body.
See, Camacho, I think, is trying to rest up a little bit here. He doesn't want to fight back hard because he could wear himself down a little bit.
And even though this screams as a Pazienza round, there have still been moments where Camacho has picked his spots and has been able to score.
Right. I mean, you know, you can't really go by the crowd because they go off emotions and who they want to win. So all Vinny has to do is throw punches. He doesn't even have to land, and the crowd's going to think he's winning big.
As we know, sometimes the judges can get fooled that way. But nonetheless, still very much a boxing clinic by Camacho.
Now here's where he has him against the ropes. Good body shots. He won't allow Camacho to get off. Now that's the best thing that Vinny's done all night. Camacho throws his punches and Vinny comes right back. He matches him. And now Camacho's forced to try and hold. So Vinny might be making some headway here as we go into the later rounds.
Second half of this fight just about underway. 6 in the books, 6 to go. It is billed as put up or shut up for the WBO junior welterweight title. Pazienza, 3 losses in his career. All 4 titles. Camacho undefeated, 38-0. Double jab from the southpaw.
The jab is so effective for Camacho when he uses it.
Paz tries to fire in that straight right hand. A moment of success, now up against the ropes, and Camacho once again, that left hand behind the head.
Vinny's definitely cornering him and pushing him to the ropes more the last couple rounds, which has got to give him a mental edge. I'm sure mentally right now, Vinny's probably enthused, probably gets a little reserve of energy coming up from within. And so this could be a turning point if he can keep this going. And if he sees Camacho hold more than punch, then he probably figures he's got something and it'll give him a little extra energy.
Macho scores as Pazienza came forward that time. Good jab. There's a straight right hand from Pazienza.
Vinny, I think right now he needs to pick it up. Camacho seems to be trying to slow the pace down purposely because he's trying to rest. He's trying to step back and take his time and rest. And he's trying to kind of lull Vinny to sleep. And right now, I think it's working.
Uppercut comes in from Camacho, glancing shot. Well, working would be the key word because Pazienza needs to do more of that.
Right. I mean, like I say, I would imagine he could probably sense it. Maybe there's a little fatigue on the part of Vinny. Maybe he's trying to gather himself as well. But looking at it from here, I would say that Vinny needs to pick it up because Camacho seems to be trying not to engage so much right now. He's trying to gather himself.
And what's so interesting about that analysis is most of the time when we're watching a fight, John, we say a guy needs to pick it up or a guy needs to work more. You're not seeing the effort you're seeing from Pazienza. He is energetic and he is trying very, very hard. It's just that what he's up against gives us the analysis we're getting.
Right. I mean, you know, if a guy is in there and he doesn't want you to hit him, you're not going to hit him. I mean, you could be in a ring and you could say to yourself, I'm not going to let this guy touch me. It's not going to happen no matter what he does. But you have to capitalize that and really push him.
End of 7. And a little something extra from Pazienza. Raises his arms. The crowd loving it. Tommy was sort of enjoying it. Maybe sensing a Pazienza late inning rally. Kevin Rooney in the corner of Vinny Pazienza. He's been telling him for a few rounds now that you got to get closer and you have to open up when you do. Round number 8, Pazienza taking on the undefeated champion Hector Macho Camacho. Camacho holding, Pazienza trying to let loose, and he fights his way out of it.
That's what he needs to do. He needs to not see. That's beautiful. He's not allowing Camacho to maneuver him and dictate.
A swarming attack to open up this 8th round from Vinny Pazienza.
See now everything, see how much it slowed down after that exchange?
Right where Camacho wants it, John.
Right, right. See, Camacho needed that because of that rough inside fighting. Vinny needs to really focus and plow forward with both hands blazing.
Pazienza trying to rally support here in Atlantic City. Straight right hand against the southpaw. And now they both exchange. Trying to wind up that right hand. A very energetic Pazienza. But Camacho, well, he knows how to slow that pace. He can hit the brakes almost at any point in this fight.
Right, but I tell you, when you see Vinny start doing that little bolo punch, that's when you know he feels good. That's when you know he sees something. Maybe even if other people don't see it, he feels it from Camacho. And so this is could be a pivotal round in the fight.
Seen Vinny Pazienza wind up that right hand little bolo punch and actually knock guys out delivering a right hand with that.
Right, I remember, I believe it was Melvin Paul, overhand right, he just clipped him with it. You know, everybody saw it coming, but he threw with such energy and force. And he's trying to, I know he'd love to land one of those right now.
That was right here in Atlantic City back in 1985, a little over 4.5 years ago. Camacho picking his spots, puts a combination together, stays out of the danger zone. Paz comes forward, tries to place a left hand to the body.
I'd like to see Vinny jab a little bit more. Vinny feels himself now getting stronger, and sometimes when you do that and you feel that way, you abandon the jab. You feel like you don't need it, but that'll play right into Camacho's hands. Camacho will see him coming and start countering again. So right now you want to be with Vinny. He wants to be aggressive, but I would think he would want to pump the jab more.
Duva and Rooney and company probably appreciated that 8th round a lot more than the previous 7.
Kevin, you stay right here, Kevin. Let them get it out.
Vinny,
Work on your job. You're waiting too long. Your head back. You're waiting too long. It's you. Get out there, punch. It's you.
Relax. Everybody relax.
Don't worry.
John Scully, let's take a look back.
Well, this is where I thought the tide turned a little bit. See, he tries to punch, and Camacho wants to hold, and he pushes him off and punches again. Digs in some nice body shots. Those body shots might not look like a big deal, but when you're on the receiving of them, it's no fun. And so that was very telling for Vinny.
9th round here of our junior welterweight title fight in Atlantic City. The constant theme that has been put forth by Lou Duva and Kevin Rooney. You heard it once again cemented. You're waiting too long. Get out there and punch. What I think is frustrating is they realize what a simple concept it is. The problem is it's tough to execute against the well-skilled and athletically gifted Camacho.
Right. Well, you know, the easiest thing to do in the world is to sit outside the ring and tell a guy what he should do. You know, everybody does it. I've done it. And, you know what the guy is supposed to do. But the thing people have to realize, when you're in there with the Camacho, he could make the most subtle move, a little step to the left, a little step to the right, that doesn't look like much, but it could throw your whole trajectory off. It's not so easy, you know, to pin a guy like him down for more than a few seconds at a time. So granted, they are right in that when he does pin him down, he needs to take as much advantage of it as he can, because Camacho's not going to hang around for too long to let you bang on him.
Good straight left hand from Macho.
You know, one thing I get from watching this fight and from other fights with him is, as far as talent and boxing knowledge and execution, Camacho, you know, with his tools could easily be a pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Just, you know, whatever holds him back from that top spot, you know, circumstances and maybe conditioning or whatever it is, but he's really a gifted fighter when you're really watching.
He has all the tools. Tony Perez, the referee, by the way, marked that one down for the first time. He finally warns Camacho about the excessive holding behind the head. Pazienza has been complaining since the opening moments of this fight.
Right, and it shouldn't be a secret. I mean, that's Camacho's thing. Like he does that in all his fights. So it's no secret, and he's definitely gotten away with it to great effect, even tonight.
Well, we know it's no secret to Pazienza, but really it shouldn't be a secret to Tony Perez, the referee, either.
Well, no, that's what I mean, but to anybody, like, that's his thing. Like, everybody knows that Camacho's a master at holding behind the head and hitting. And so,
well,
yeah.
which is why it's disappointing sometimes, because I think referees should also be doing their prep work when a fight and what they're going to get their hands on.
Oh, definitely, yep.
Pazienza lunges in once again. Still trying to find that elusive target that is Hector Camacho. End of 9. 3 to go in Atlantic City. Time talking about Hector Camacho's defensive prowess. But he can fire it off too, John.
Well, that's a beautiful move. He pulled him down. He pulled Pazienza down a little bit with his right hand and pulled him right into the left uppercut, which is, to me, a beautiful, beautiful shot.
Such a smart, versatile overall fighter, the world champion, the undefeated Hector Macho Camacho, round number 10, trying to defend his WBO junior welterweight title against the Tasmanian Devil, Vinny Pazienza. And you can see the frustration once again, time and time again, from Pazienza as referee Tony Perez has to come in and break him.
See, and that takes out something out of a fighter. Once he starts showing that visual where he shows you how frustrated he is, that could work for him or against him. It could make him fight harder, or it could kind of make him back off and kind of submit in a way. I tend to think Vinny's probably the type that will fight harder, though.
Doesn't take long to figure that out if you've been around Vinny Pazienza. He is pure passion. Camacho picking him off once again. Utilizing that right hand jab from that southpaw stance. Staying away, parrying punches. Still great movement. Now this is the time of the fight where we said earlier, if Pazienza had done his work to the body, it would pay off now. Not the case. Still very much a fresh leg, Camacho.
Right. Well, not just that, but mentally, I think Camacho's still very aware. He's still able to see these punches coming, so he doesn't feel that pressure of the fatigue puts on you and worrying about your legs. He doesn't seem to be worried about much. He seems pretty calm, and he's able to pick his shots. So I would say he's a little bit if they had to choose between them, I think Camacho's in a better position physically right now.
Completely agree, John Scully. Paz now trying to position Camacho into that corner, but didn't fire off enough, and Camacho escapes. Misses with the left hand. Camacho gets out to the side again, and you can see now a cut that is opened up, and boy, that's a bad cut. Above the left eye of Pazienza, it is now streaming blood.
See, and that's not going to help him with the right jab of Camacho. It's already been a problem.
So a big moment here in round number 10, as Pazienza is still trying to solve the elusive boxer-puncher Hector Camacho. Now he has to add on the troubles of a cut above the left eye. Nice sharp left hand from Camacho. So Lou Duva and Kevin Rooney have their hands full. The doctor's already in the corner.
Let me get it. No problem. No problem. Take them out, please, guys. I got it. Okay, Doc, look. Everything's okay. Open up. Vinny, you got to punch. You got the punch. You got to go for the knockout. You got to punch. You're getting there, but you're not doing nothing. You got to punch.
Vinny. Hey, it's close. You got to get in close. You got to open up. You got to stay calm and open up.
Hold it here. Come on here.
Now here's the sequence where we believe the cut opened up. It's hard to tell if it was a headbutt or a short right hand on the inside, but definitely he puts his hand up to his eye right there. So he's cut.
Is he ever? You can see the blood streaming down. That's a real bad spot as the blood starts to seep into the corner of that left eye of Vinny Pazienza. Championship rounds, round number 11. 6 minutes to go to see who will take home the WBO's junior welterweight title. Hector Camacho seemingly ahead on the scorecards, but we have seen constant aggression from Pazienza, and of course this Atlantic City crowd has been rallying support for him. In terms of being in the 11th round of a fight, the last 2 times Pazienza reached this level of a fight. He came up on the losing side. That was against Mayweather back in November of '88 and Haugen in February of that year. And a point deduction here doled out from referee Tony Perez.
Now, I think Camacho needs to keep sticking the jab now, circle to his right. Because the jab is already causing problems. The blood is just going to add to it. If Camacho keeps circling to his right, it's going to be extremely hard for Vinny to see him. And Vinny probably feels that sense of desperation now, and that's just going to make him more desperate, having Camacho not stay right in front of him.
Well, after throwing that elbow on the inside and having the point deduction, it's going to make him a little more desperate on the scorecards, too. In a fight that we feel he's trailing, now another point docked. Inside work now, sent a right hand to the body, and once again, Camacho ties up. A warning from Perez. At this point, you can skip the warnings and get right to the deductions, and there's the frustration from Pazienza again.
He's definitely frustrated. He's, he sees time slipping away, and Camacho knows this. I think Camacho's probably going to try and box the last 2 rounds and just let the clock run out.
The Boo Birds flying here at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. The crowd not appreciative of what's gone down here in this 11th round. Pazienza charges in, and look at this. Does that not sum up what has been happening? Camacho wraps up again, this time turning the back of Pazienza.
And Pazienza right now is full of energy and vigor, and his whole body's just energized, and he wants to fight so hard and so bad. But he could run the risk of doing something out of the ordinary and maybe getting himself more points taken off.
It's already happened earlier in this round. Can't afford to travel down that road again. The 11th round, by far the ugliest of this fight. Camacho scores with a combination at the end of it. 3 minutes to go. The undefeated champ off his stool early. He's ready for the 12th round. Meanwhile, Vinny Pazienza, he needs a little extra work with that cut over the left eye. Oh, that was a little more than a touch him up to start this 12th round. Pazienza wants to go for it. John Scully, let me ask you this. In your eyes, does he need the knockout in order to win this title?
I would say he definitely needs a knockout. I think at any point in his career, there hasn't been a point in his career more than right now when he needs to let it all hang out. He has to go for the knockout.
Camacho has boxed beautifully. In our eyes, ahead on the scorecards. Pazienza has given a good account of himself with his aggressive style, but he has been troubled by the defensive prowess of Camacho, and now dealing with a cut above that left eye. Streaming blood down the side of his face.
I think Camacho knows he's just got to make it through this round to grab a decision. I think he's boxing good, keeping his distance, and he'll probably, just like that, he'll try and grab and hold and tie him up. Really good execution of a guy that knows he's ahead.
Sweeping right hand from Pazienza moments ago. Sends a left hand to the body. Camacho just surviving here, and if he can do so for the next 90 seconds, he should retain his title. Pazienza, this is the 4th title fight of his career. Won the IBF lightweight title back in '87. He's lost the last 2 title fights he's been a part of.
He's got to press it. He's got to go. Even in a situation like this, you have to forget about proper punching technique. You have to go for even somewhat wild punches. You have to throw your hands. The biggest shots you can muster.
Nothing to lose.
He has to know he's losing a decision, and he's just got to let it go. You have to fight like a desperate man, because just throwing compact short punches, you may win the round, but you're not going to take the fight over.
Last 40 seconds. Can Vinny Pazienza pull it off? Straight right hand Deflected by Camacho. Pazienza complaining about the cut for a moment. Now refocused. Another right hand off to the side. Camacho up on his toes, out at range. Playing stay away. Puts that stiff right arm out there. Keeping his range. Lunging left hand, straight right. Pazienza goes to the body with a flurry. Combination up top. Camacho gets away. Spins out of there. Final seconds. Camacho holds on. Both men raise their arms.
Well, I would say the fans got their money's worth either way. Vinny's a gutsy guy. He dug down as hard the best he could, but Camacho is still a special talent, I believe.
Lou Duva tending to the left eye of Vinny Pazienza. Meanwhile, not many blemishes on the face of Hector Camacho. John Scully, what was the one thing that Vinny Pazienza could have done differently to change the course of this fight?
Well, I believe the best success he had was when he was pumping his jab. At different times of the fight, he was throwing 2, 3, 4 jabs in a row, and kind of putting a bulldozer in front of himself so Camacho couldn't counter as well. And I think if he did that more, he could have had much more success.
Michael Buffer has the official score.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the official scoring. Jose Salcedo scores the bout 117 to 116. John Rupert scores it 115 to 112. And Richard F. Murray scores it 119 to 109 for the winner. And still champion Hector Macho.
The Macho Man, 39-0. He retains his title. For John Scully, I'm Joe Tessitore. Thanks for being with us.